Hello from snowy Victoria, British Columbia. It's Brandon Devnich with this week's Interactive number 77, where we share what we're passionate about and what we've been working on in the i3D Themes Design and Code Labs. This has been an extremely productive week for both Colin and myself, which leaves us on Friday with a really great feeling. Colin has made fantastic progress on the Oxygen design. This is his first design where he's doing the work on both the template, the website template, and the WordPress theme at the very same time. He has the homepage done. It's just going through, the fine-tooth comb, making sure all the text is clear, it has the right contrast with the background images or colors. There's a little mobile blip there, as well as getting the sub-pages done. So hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have a release candidate where we can actually take a look at it online, and shortly thereafter get both the website template and the WordPress theme released to the catalog. So very productive work there. He's also taken on a number of new projects as well, content transfers, website setups. That's spilled over into the Code Lab, where we've done some tweaks to some of the Numo components, done some installs, and also had to patch the updater. When you put in a new feature and say, hey, run the update, and they say I did and it didn't work, and you're like, oh goodness. So we had to patch that system, so it's been very eventful there. We also on Tuesday started a brand new Facebook Live series called The Need for Speed, and that's going to be available over on the Facebook page for Pegasaas. Now Pegasaas, of course, is our automated Google PageSpeed WordPress plugin. Basically, it super speeds up your website if you're using a WordPress platform. And so we started this new series called The Need for Speed. In that, we're going to be going into detail about what are all these different things that you have to do to speed up your website, and to give a little bit more of an understanding, trying to take very technical stuff and make it non-technical, to try to explain what it means when we say render blocking resources or concatenation, and how does that apply to you, and how does it make your website slower, or how does it make it faster. So we started that on Tuesday. We're going to be doing that as a Tuesday series through the Pegasaas Facebook page. So I invite you, if you're interested in PageSpeed optimization for WordPress, or even not for WordPress, that would be a really great place if you want to learn more about this. And I'm telling you, it's probably really important, if you haven't optimized your site already, to be paying attention to this. Coming up this week in Barcelona is I want to call it the World Mobile Conference. Basically, it's everything to do with mobile devices. And what they found, I was just reading this study here earlier today, that they found that although there's been great progress with the page load times for mobile devices over the last year, it's still too slow. It's like the average load time for a web page on a mobile phone is over 15 seconds. And considering that if, like on mobile devices, the stat is, if your visitor is, taking more than 3 seconds to view your page, or it takes longer than 3 seconds to pull up your page, over 53% of visitors are likely to bounce. And so if your web pages are longer than that, that's not a good thing. So that's what Pegasaas does, is it optimizes your site and makes it faster to load. And it's one of these things, speed equals revenue. Basically, if the faster your website is, the faster it's going to load, the less bounce rate you're going to have. The trouble with mobile devices is that more and more people are coming online. There's over 60% of search is done through Google on a mobile device. Over 50% of e-commerce is done on a mobile device. Unfortunately, bounce rates are higher on a mobile device because it takes longer to download the page because of processors and because of data plans. And the e-commerce conversion rates are much, much lower, again, because it takes a long time for pages to load. And there isn't as much of a focus on e-commerce from the developer's end of things as there has always been traditionally on a desktop, because that is the native platform that most people use when they're working at their desk. Not so often are people working at their desk on a phone. So typically most people are in websites, or business owners see their desktop. They don't always think so much about mobile phones, but there's more and more of a push for that. And even if there's not as much a push in your demographic, there will be in 5 years. There will be in 2 years, and there will be more even in 1 year. So any time left not focusing in on this means lost revenue. So I mentioned that I'm doing this other webcast through the Pegasaas Facebook page. It's also going to cover the features that we've been working on at Pegasaas, but I'll tell you, this week has been really awesome in that we've had great feedback from users that are using the Pegasaas plugin, giving us ideas for different features, requests to have certain features put in. We implemented, I want to say, 7 or 8 different features just based off of suggestions this week. We also added in support for CDN, which is Content Delivery Network. All of our plans now include Content Delivery Network built in automatically, not having to configure anything. You basically just turn on Pegasaas and it uses a Content Delivery Network. And what a Content Delivery Network is it's a network of servers across the world, and the CDN system that we use has, I want to say, 28 data centers across the world. And wherever your visitor is, it's going to, that web browser is going to load the images and CSS and JavaScript, all those resources from a data center that is geographically closest to them. So that means that the pages load faster as well. So while the Pegasaas plugin initially started off as PageSpeed optimization, which is trying to score for the Google, how well you can do for Google, there are other ways to make your pages fast as well. So we're moving beyond PageSpeed into Y-Slow, into GT metrics, into pingdom tools, making sure that the pages score well on pingdom, and just trying to make the pages load as fast as possible. If you do that, that is going to be the biggest thing, most successful thing that you can do for your website to help reduce your bounce rate. And if you can keep your less people from bouncing, you're going to have more people on your website, more likely to get exposure for your product or service, make more conversions, more sales. I think that's what everybody's trying to do. Anyways, thanks so much for joining me. We've had another fantastic week here at i3D Themes. Hope you've had a great week as well. Please join me again next week, where we share some of the same stuff that's going on here, although it'll be completely different next week because every week is different here at i3D Themes. If there's something in this video that you think maybe somebody that you know might like or need, please by all means share or comment, and we'll talk to you again next week. All right, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.